Welcome to the Explainer. Sometimes just swapping a couple of words around in a sentence can completely change its meaning, its whole vibe. Today, we're going to dive into exactly how that works. So let's kick things off with a classic, right? Straight from Shakespeare's Macbeth. A messenger runs in and delivers the news with these 6 exact words. "The Queen, my lord, is dead." So you gotta ask, why that order? He could have just said, "The Queen is dead, my lord." Simple enough. But no, Shakespeare was a genius. His choice creates this gut punch of a pause. He puts the most shocking word, queen, right up front. It's all about that emotional impact. And hey, this isn't some dusty old trick. Think about modern news headlines, right? Michael Jackson, the king of pop, is dead. Same exact technique. Okay, so to really get how to break the rules, well, first you gotta know the rules, right? So let's start with the absolute foundation, the basic building block of pretty much every English sentence you'll ever see. Now, this should look pretty familiar to most of you. Subject, verb, object, or SVO for short. It's simple. The doer, that's the subject, does the action, the verb, to the receiver, the object. Like in the sentence, you speak English. You are the subject, speak is the verb, and English is the object. Simple enough? All right, so that's the basic skeleton. But let's be real. Sentences are usually more complicated than that. We add details, like where something happened and when it happened. And it turns out, there's this little golden rule that native speakers follow, most of us without even realizing it. And that rule is super simple. Place before time. Always. So just think of it like this. You answer where before you answer when. So you'd say, we left for the airport, that's the place, at 7 o'clock. That's the time. Saying it the other way, we left at 7 o'clock for the airport, it just sounds a little clunky, right? A little unnatural. All right, pop quiz. Based on that rule we just talked about, place before time, which one of these sounds better? A or B? You got it. It's B. He was born in London, the place, in 1975, the time. It's a really subtle thing, but nailing these little details is what makes your English sound super polished and natural. Okay, we've got the foundation laid. Now for the really fun stuff. Learning how to intentionally flip the script for dramatic effect. And the technical term for this cool trick is inversion. And I guarantee you've heard inversion a million times, even if you didn't know what it was called. Just think of that classic Beatles song, "Here Comes the Sun." It's just a beautiful, poetic flip of the standard, "the sun comes here." It just flows so much better, doesn't it? Now here's where it gets a little tricky, a little nuanced. The rule for this kind of inversion actually changes based on whether your subject is a noun or a pronoun. Check this out. If the subject is a noun, like sun, the verb comes first. Here comes the sun. But if the subject is a pronoun, like he or it, the pronoun has to come first. There he is. You'd never say, there is he, right? It just sounds wrong. Okay, so inversion isn't just for song lyrics. You can use it to add some serious dramatic punch to your sentences, especially when you kick things off with a negative word. This is a fantastic example. The normal way to say this is, I would have thought this would happen never in a million years. It's fine. It gets the point across. But now look at the inverted version. Never in a million years would I have thought this would happen. Wow. Did you see what happened there? That little helper verb, would, jumped in front of the subject, I. And that one little move is what gives it all that power and drama. So, how do you actually make one of these? Well, you start with that negative phrase, something like, not only, or under no circumstances. Then, and this is the key part, you add a helping verb, like do, did, or would, almost like you're forming a question. After that, you put in your subject and then the main verb. It's that question-like structure that's the real secret sauce here. That's what gives it that strong, formal punch. All right, let's move on to our third and final trick for putting emphasis exactly where you want it. This one is an incredibly powerful tool, and it's called a cleft sentence. And you know, the name itself gives you a huge clue about what it does. Cleft comes from an old verb, to cleave, which literally means to split something in two. And that's precisely what these sentences do. They take one simple idea, split it into two parts, and the whole point is to shine a massive spotlight on one specific bit of information. Let's walk through an example to make this super clear. We'll start with a totally normal, straightforward sentence. Her dedication impressed her parents. Simple enough. Now, let's play with it and see how we can use these cleft structures to really shift the focus. Okay, so one way is with what's called an it-cleft. Instead of just saying our original sentence, we can rephrase it like this. It was her dedication that impressed her parents. See that? By starting with it was, we're basically screaming, hey, pay attention. This next part, her dedication, is the most important thing I'm about to say. Now, another way to do this is with a which-cleft, using a word like what. This creates a totally different feel. We could say, what impressed her parents was her dedication. This one is cool because it kind of builds up the suspense, right? It makes you wait for the important info, and then it delivers it right at the end for a big reveal. It's very effective. Whew, okay. Let's pull all this together. We've gone all the way from the absolute basics of sentence structure to some really advanced, powerful tools for controlling exactly what your listener focuses on. So, let's do a quick recap of your new word order toolkit. So, here's the whole thing in a nutshell. For most day-to-day stuff, just stick with that standard SVO order. It's clear, it's direct, it works. But when you want to get a little fancy, add some drama, or sound a bit more formal, that's when you can pull out inversion. And for those times when you absolutely positively have to make one specific thing the star of the show, that's the perfect job for a cleft sentence. So really the big takeaway here is that word order isn't just a boring grammar rule. It's about making choices. Every single sentence you write or speak is a chance to guide your listener's attention. And what we've talked about today, these are the tools that let you do that. They let you be more precise, more powerful, and way more persuasive. So I'll leave you with this question. Now that you know how to control the spotlight, what are you going to choose to light up?